everybody. This is Jeff Veale, the business guru, coming to you from, yes, downtown Manila. And it's not as hot now, but it's late at night, guys. What time is it? Oh, I should be in bed. It's nearly midnight, but I won't be going to bed, guys. I've got a few webinars coming up later. But I've got a very, very interesting guest on today, and we're going to have a chat to him shortly. And his name is Jeff Ostroff. He's a founder, owner, and principal of Jeff Ostroff Associates. His claim to fame is media marketing, communications, performing arts. And this is very important stuff, guys. Reach out and have a chat to him. It costs you nothing to have a virtual cup of coffee. Remember that. He's been in the industry for a hell of a long time. His brief description, he helps people and businesses stand out, achieve their goals by producing, listen to this, guys, very carefully, customized audio, video, promotional interviews and mini-series. Create hosting podcasts, media podcasts, interviewing, coaching, and voiceovers. So that's a pretty cool selection there, guys. Reach, have a chat to him. You may need something. And guys, he's as cheap as chips. He's not expensive compared to some of these big studios, I can assure you. Right? Key achievements of projects. He's an author, successful marketing to the 50-plus consumer, creator, interviewer, producer of Looking Forward. It's all about opportunities. How true is that? Voices in the spotlight, healthcare on the horizons, with nearly 180 interviews completed and more coming. His upcoming audio book, 6 Great Global Opportunities for This Decade, based on some of those interviews. And that's a pretty interesting project. His personal philosophy, I love it. Nothing ventured, nothing gained. How true is that, guys? Action gets traction. So take some action. Reach out to this man. You don't know what you don't know. Reach out, have a cup of coffee. What's that going to cost you? Nothing. It's just your time. Right, interesting fact, he began an interviewing career at about the age of 7. I was like, 71? 71, there it is, sorry, 71. I thought it was 7. It could be.
Actually, it's 7. It's actually 7.
It is 7, right? There's a little dash after it, that's all. So there's 7. And we've got a few other things here to tell you, but more important, let's bring him on the stage. Good morning or good afternoon there, Jeff. What time is it where you are, my friend?
Well, it's still morning, Jeff. It's 11:55 here on the East Coast.
We're polar. I'm 11:55 p.m. We're polar opposites. Tell us about your journey and what has inspired you to pursue your brilliant career that you're doing. Where's the aha moment? What happened?
Well, starting at age 7,
yep,
was interviewing people. My dad had bought me a reel-to-reel tape recorder that came with a microphone, and it was natural for me to start interviewing my parents, their friends, my friends, other members of the family. Never thought anything of it, but that's how it all started for me. In my career, I did a lot of professional speaking, Jeff, and consulting, but I didn't do as much of the interviewing that I wanted to do. So after I retired from a successful career, I kind of sat around for a little bit doing other things. And then the aha moment was, you know what? I love interviewing people. And I also loved doing announcing with that microphone. And I said, you know what? I love doing voiceover type stuff. So I set up a studio, and that's how I got going with all this.
That's right. What's been the most challenging aspect of your work, and how have you overcome that?
I think the most challenging actually has to do with the time.
Yes.
There are so many hours in a day. I'm a very creative person.
Yeah.
I'm a people-oriented person. I see opportunities and ideas and connections everywhere. And yet I know that I only have so many hours in the day, and I need to sleep, and I want to exercise and so forth. So honestly, the biggest challenge for me is trying to keep everything within a certain bandwidth, including the professional work that I'm doing.
Just an important moment in your career that pretty much became that aha moment. I think you've alluded to it already, but tell us what you think it was, that moment in your career that changed your direction.
Okay, I think, and this would be something of value for everybody to apply to themselves, I think, it's when I actually thought for a little while about what it is that I truly love to do.
That's the one.
Where nobody, like, when you're a kid, Jeff, maybe you were taking piano lessons or guitar, whatever it was, and your parent had to like browbeat you in order to practice, do that. Well, what's important for anybody, but this was sort of an aha for me, was what did I like to do when I was younger when nobody told me what to do and I just could do it? And I realized, you know what? I like talking to people and I like to ask questions of people. And that's something that comes naturally to me. And I always took it for granted. So I would tell people, and I still tell people, don't take something that you do well for granted, especially if it was something that sprung from when you were a little kid.
Yeah. Yeah. What I like is, like me, you haven't got a job, you've got a passion. When you've got a passion, guys, it's not work. It's just awesome, right?
Not work.
In your opinion, what have been the key qualities and skills that have contributed to your amazing success so far? What is it? Determination is being obviously.
Determination is one. I would say another one would be the ability to refine and or pivot. Yes. So you try something and you realize, well, you know, I could have made this a little bit better, whether it's a message, whether it's an approach, whether it's a product. And sometimes you realize, well, you know, I've been drilling in this hole and there's no oil there. I got to be moving to my right. Maybe there's oil there. I think that's really important. But that perseverance to know that you're going to have a lot of rejections, but you have to hang in there and you have to believe that what you're doing is a good thing. It's good for people. Yep. And that you are the right person to do it. You've got to have a firm belief in yourself in what you do. And you can only have that belief, Jeff, if you really think that you're in your zone, that you're doing something that makes sense for you.
It comes second nature for you now. It comes second nature, doesn't it? It's just like just flows up like water off a duck's back, because you're a good
absolutely
you're a good talker, you're a good orator, so you got the whole 9 yards. Tell me, how do you stay motivated as you do and continue to innovate in your field with some of the new projects you were telling me about earlier? How do you do that?
Yes, I do that because the pursuit itself, the journey itself is what gives me energy. It gives me life. It's like a life force. And I know this because I'll go down to Florida and I'll be down there for 6 to 8 weeks and I'll do less of the work. It's January, December. I'm doing less of the work. And I know that I start to feel that I'm not having that same level of passion as when I jump back into the game again. Now, there are other things, you understand, there are other things that give me passion as well, but what keeps me going here, Art Linkletter, I don't know if you remember Art Linkletter, he was very popular.
Yeah.
You do? Okay.
You must have
one time, but yes. Okay, you remember Art. Well, Art had a children's program for those who don't remember Art, but he was very famous and popular out of Hollywood. And one time I had the pleasure of talking to him for about 5 minutes when I was writing my first book.
Wow.
And I got to talk to Art, and this is what he said to me, and it stuck. He said, just remember, Jeff, the joy is in the journey, not the destination. And that's true. I mean, part of this is the juice that I get from just creating things and going after it.
I tell people, by the way, you'll get this. I say, guys, you're climbing the mountain, but I got bad news for you. You're only at base camp. It's a long way to go. It's only base camp, right? Keep going. Keep going, guys.
Keep going. Yes.
Tell us, you told me a few earlier. Tell me a recent project or achievement you're particularly proud of, Jeff.
I'm especially proud of 2 things. Yeah. One is I have come up with what I think is a little bit of a twist on podcasting, which I've done plenty of. Yeah. And that is I actually customize my interviews. They're not podcast episodes, they're interviews.
Yes.
Where we meet. I've created this audio video customized promotional interview where we will strategize. We meet for about an hour a week ahead of the interview You got to answer a bunch of questions. We get together on Zoom. We plan this whole thing out so that when you get on the interview, you are ready to go and achieve your goal. I'm excited about that. There's two platforms, Voices in the Spotlight and Looking Forward. It's all about opportunities. The other thing I'm excited about, you alluded to, Jeff, which is the audio book that will be coming out very, very soon, Great Global Opportunities for This Decade, which is based on interviews that I've done with 6 of my best guest experts. So I'm excited about that because I like sharing opportunities with people as much as I like to help people promote themselves.
Yeah, I like that. That's very nice. Tell us, what advice would you give a young version of yourself, a 20-year-old version of yourself, who wanted to follow in your footsteps? What would you tell them?
What I would tell them, and again, I hate to repeat myself, is don't just find yourself a job unless you're in such a situation as you got to make money right now, but let that be a placeholder. Let that just be for now. Think about what you do well, what gives you passion, and go after that. Even if you can't go after it immediately, go after it as soon as you can. Even do it part-time, even volunteer doing it, so you can start to get that experience and that credibility. And how do you figure that out? Again, in part is, what do your friends tell you? Boy, Jeff, you're really good at that, and you think, remember when somebody says that to you, whether it's your mom, dad, your friends, your family, pay attention to that and pay attention to what you did when you were younger and you just did stuff by yourself or with your friends that you naturally did without somebody having a whip over you.
I love that.
Yeah.
And I add to that, I say, get a mentor, guys. If you've got a passion for something, reach out to people who've been there before you, right? Get a mentor and you'll learn 5 and 10 years quicker, right? You'll pick up so much good stuff. And people like Jeff and myself, we're happy to share our journey. We've been on the journey. We're still going. We're happy to share our knowledge and experience. All you've got to do is reach out. It's really that simple.
I totally agree.
What are your goals and aspirations for the future, Jeff?
Well, I'm excited about the audio book and I want to see where that takes me. I'm excited about doing these audio video promotional interviews because they can be done for anybody, whether it's a student trying to get into a college, whether it's somebody who's just gotten out of college looking for a job, somebody who's changing jobs. Millions of people are looking for new jobs. They need their face and their voice and their beliefs and their strengths to be shown on the screen and heard. And I'm excited about growing that. And I'm always looking for collaborations, Jeff. Yes. And I love working with you here, but I'm looking beyond that to have more collaborations because somebody said to me, here's another piece of advice. Somebody said to me, and I wrote about this in my book, his name was Tony Mazer, my first book. Tony said, what you can do by yourself is limited. What you can do with others is limitless. And I think people need to think about that, right? And you said a mentor, that's one way. I'm looking for a few great people who have synergistic skills and capabilities to mine. So I'm looking forward to that as well.
What Jeff was talking about, guys, virtually, we're talking about here, so you didn't take it over your head to some of you. He's talking about putting together a professional, hear the word, a professional video resume. Now, how cool would that be if you could click your email and send out your video application to potential job people? You blow them apart, guys. Everyone's sending in the bloody paper version. This guy,
exactly,
he's pressing a button and there, hello there, thank you for having me. And away you go. Pretty awesome.
Yes. And Jeff, I would add to that if you're a founder with a new business or if you're a nonprofit trying to get the word out and raise more money and volunteers, it can be used for a whole bunch of things.
Absolutely. Yeah, I love it. It's a brilliant concept. Absolutely brilliant. You want to keep.
Thank you.
We're about to wrap it up. Tell our listeners and people watching this wonderful podcast, how can they reach out and find out more about your fantastic services? What's the best
Thank you so much for this opportunity, Jeff. My website, www.jeff, just like Jeff Veale, Jeff dash Ostroff, Ostroff, like Florida.com. My link, I'm on LinkedIn. Look up Jeff Ostroff in Philadelphia area. LinkedIn, and also my email is jeff@jeff-ostroff.com.
Okey-dokey. Before we wrap it up, tell us a fun fact about yourself that most people don't know.
Well, I don't know if this is fun or not. I mentioned that I was doing the interviews when I was 7, but I don't know if this is fun, but this may be more of a great accomplishment in my life for me personally. When I was about 4 years old, Jeff, maybe 5, I almost drowned. I fell into a pool, and my dad went in and rescued me from the pool. For the better part of 16 years after that, I was terrified. I mean, terrified of going underwater. And so I missed many fun outings with my friends in the pool.
Sure.
When we would go to the ocean, I would only go so far in, like ankle deep. I was just terrified. I'd hear the sounds of the water, and it's very scary.
Yeah.
And at the age of 21, when I just finished college, a friend of mine who was totally unathletic, and I'm somewhat athletic, told me he had just learned to overcome his fear of the water. And I said, really? And when I heard him say that, he took a class at my university.
Yes.
When I heard him say that, I said, you know what? If Steve can do it, I can do it. And then on my own, through the process of desensitization, I went into the pool twice a day, my local pool, the university pool, and over time, I overcame the fear. And my greatest achievement, I think, in my life was swimming a mile of the crawl several years later.
Fantastic.
So that, to me, it's just a point about how you can sometimes overcome a great fear.
Guys. It's mindset. It's all mindset. At the end of the day, it's mindset. You know, I understand fully. We're going to wrap it up now. And guys, if you want your 15 minutes of fame, just like Jeff, don't forget to like and subscribe to his channel. You're going to see dozens of fantastic people just like Jeff with amazing opportunities for you. So go to our podcast and have a look. And by the way, with Jeff, all of his links, he's going to be on LinkedIn, Quora, Reddit, Facebook, our Facebook group, and of course YouTube with all of his social media links. So it's no excuse, guys. You've got to reach out to this man, have a chat, particularly if you're a job seeker. He'll put you right at the front of the queue with all the potential employees. Thanks very much for being on the show, Jeff.
Thank you for this great opportunity. And I think just about anybody could benefit from being on Jeff Veale's 15 Minutes of Fame.
Thank you very much for that.